This means see that you can be seated, that you feel supported in your pelvis for an upright, relaxed sitting position. Very good. Super. And the mudra that we're doing today is actually quite simple. So with your left hand, I want you to bring the tips of your thumb and your pinky finger together. And in your right hand, we're putting the tip of your thumb on the second digit of our middle finger, which is pretty close to our palm. So I'm saying it again. Left hand, tips of thumb and pinky together, and right hand, tip of thumb on the second digit of your middle finger close to your index. And then allow your hands to release with the mudra on your legs, making sure that you're seated in front of your sit bones so your lower back can really unfold and the shoulders can roll back and sink towards your pelvis. Very good. And then I invite you to close your eyes for the current moment and to switch your attention towards your breath that can flow as it may, and to anchor into your pelvis and sense if you're seated in a balanced fashion, and to maybe really push equally towards both sides of your pelvis, your sit bones, so your pelvis can balance. And then start with bringing your attention away from your pelvis for a moment towards your breath and realize where you are in your breath cycle. Just to patiently wait until the breath wave completes itself, no matter which direction you go right now, inhale or exhale. And see if you can connect this cycle of your breath with you reuniting your pelvis with your cranium. So we're lifting up with an inhale, and we're grounding and exhaling with an exhale. And we can stay with our awareness, just with connecting below and above, and create space. And maybe as we breathe and we're connecting our pelvis with our cranium, we can not only feel the breath in the front of the body, but maybe also the sides of our torso from the center to the outside unfolding. So that with an inhale, we can find the space below our arms to widen. We can hold this, and with an exhale, we keep it wide and feel the floor. And then maybe slowly over time, we're not feeling the front and the sidelines of our torso as we inhale, but maybe we can also feel the inhale going to the back. So the front and the back is connected as we breathe. And take like 3 rounds of your breath to explore this. And as you do this, to keep the shoulders firmly anchored, we are at 2 and 3. Very good. And you can keep your eyes closed if you feel like staying with the breath. And I would like to give you a little bit of information to the mudra we are holding today. It's all about flexibility when we're dealing with our emotions, and I would like to read you a paragraph about this and invite you to take whatever suits you and to leave whatever doesn't resonate with you. Flexibility when we're dealing with our emotions requires that we have a certain distance to them. This enables us that we can look at ourselves and maybe what's happening on the outside without reacting immediately. That creates a little bit more space that enables us to find choice, where we can think about if we are wanting to deal or wanting to set an action, how we wanted to deal with the situation, or how to deal with the situation, or an exclamation mark if we're only taking a conclusion out of this. If you're reacting immediately, we're taking away the possibility from us to really seize for our knowledge and experience what we just lived through. Furthermore, in similar situations, we will probably react the same. That's how our own emotions and also the emotions of others will always have us ending up in the same place. The feeling of stagnation prevails. We are not living anymore, but are being lived, and are being moved by emotions from one place to the next. Living a creative life has become a small spot on a distant horizon. But what actually means to live your life creatively, to live a creative life? To live your life creatively means to deal with a situation well. We're not being attached, but we have enough space or distance and are only acting connected to a calm observation. If our decision in the end has been correct or incorrect isn't a question, because in any case, this decision will bring us to a new place and not to the same spot that we've been knowing for 20 years or more. The eternal renewal of our experience allows us to correct less over time. Acting in this manner, we thereby can release the connection and attachment to situations, other people, and even ourselves. And with these words, I invite you to, still in this present condition, sit with your mudra and strengthen your body for a little bit more space between a stimuli, a message, a call, and your own emotional reaction to it. See if it's possible to find a reset button for your reaction. Doesn't matter if you're standing, lying down, or walking, by finding the connection to the floor that allows us to be present or to have presence and allows the body to feel safe. And in addition to having the floor, having a connection to our breath so we can stay balanced, connecting our inner world to the outer world, and having the ability and the capacity to take in the outer world. And invite you to practice this very consciously for 3 long deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. Very good. And then with the next exhalation, gently release your mudra. Unite both hands in front of your heart. Inhale, exhale, widen the shoulders, feel the neck free. And connect to a place where you feel a heartfelt prayer, where you ask from your heart, from the universe, for something that contains well-being for you, for your family, in the sense of Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, may all beings be happy and free. So that it's that generally formulated or brought into form that everyone can benefit Just feel and sense this space here. And we're singing Om together. And then allow your hands to come to your forehead. Go down, hands still reunited, palms together. Feel that when the outside of your pinkies are touching the floor, that you're grounding them. Wait for a couple of moments. Allow the shoulders to circle back, the head to release, the neck to be released. Inhale here one more time. And you really can gather from the floor whatever you need right now, strength. And then with an exhale, just plant your prayer into the floor. Let the head release. And then from your lower belly, from Uddiyana, slowly come up with an inhale. Very good. And then with an exhale, just scoot back a little bit with your upper floor so that you have enough space between your legs and your torso. Allow both hands to come to your knees. See that the pelvis is firmly grounded. And with an inhale, we start to shift a little bit to the right. Our left pelvis still stays on the floor. With an exhale, we come forward. The shoulders are staying wide. With an inhale, we're coming to the left. The right pelvic side is firmly grounded. And with an exhale, we're going back, feeling the C-curve, navel drawn to the spine. And then go into a fluid breath where you can circle from right to front, to left, to back. And it's like a marauding bear in a seated position. And we're trying to really anchor the pelvis as we circle, to lift the sternum as we go in front without tensing up the neck, so that we can really move in all directions and activating all meridians, activating our spine, the spinal muscles that tells us where we are in space. And slowly this movement can descend, maybe when going backward in the C-curve. And then with an inhale, drawing ourselves forward over the counter rotation. So we were left, we go forward, we were right, we go back. And we can circle in a big wide circle from left to right, still holding the consciousness and the awareness that our pelvic bowl is firmly grounded, earthed through both sides. And we can, as we circle, just really free up all the tension in the back, especially in the upper back. And we're meeting on the back side in the C-curve. Head can be released and drop. Finding Uddiyana Bandha, the lower belly, pushing our palms into our knees. And then with an inhale, we rise back up. And with an exhale, the shoulders can drop and ground to the pelvis. And then try to stabilize the lower belly. Both arms stay straight. And with an inhale, we're lifting the sternum through the gate of our arms forward. And with an exhale, we're staying with the arms straight and just moving the thoracic spine. With an inhale, we're moving forward, the arms stay straight. And with an exhale, we're releasing the upper back, the middle back, by dropping the chest, dropping the sternum. And if you feel like it, you can close your eyes and maybe speed it up, but stay connected to the floor and your breath so that you're really coming into the connection of mobilizing the sternum, mobilizing the thoracic spine. And we're breathing as we do this for 3, 1, 2, and 3. Very good. And then allow that the elbows can bend for a moment and relax. With an inhale, lean forward, strengthening the lower back. And with an exhale, go back all the time, rolling to the front of your sit bones. And you can really use your arms and your hands to draw yourself up as you go forward with an inhale. And with an exhale, feel that you can stabilize yourself as you roll to the back of your sit bones, and feel that you're not following my movement, but really staying connected to your breath and moving in your own rhythm. And we're doing this for 3 long deep breaths. 1, 2, and 3. And then come into a seated position again, balanced a little bit in front of your sit bones. Inhale here. And with an exhale, find Uddiyana, find navel to spine. Just lean back a tad and free your legs. I'm just removing my socks. And I want you to have your feet hip-width distance apart. And we're still sitting in front of our sit bones. Feel that you can draw the navel to the spine with an exhale. And we're really seizing the floor, pushing it away. With an inhale, we're lifting the sternum. And with an exhale, directing from our core, from our sit bones, we're putting our right leg over the left. So the left leg is in one straight line out of your left hip, and the right leg is over your left with your ankle on your upper thigh. Maybe you want to scoot forward a little bit. I want you to feel a release in the outside of your right hip, in your buttocks. And place your hands behind you. Allow your hands to rotate in any fashion or manner so that your shoulders can stay wide in front, wide collarbones. And we're lifting our sternum with an inhale. And with an exhale, we are having this backside loop of drawing the tip of our shoulder blades towards our pelvis. And we're staying calm throughout the tension as we breathe for 1. Sternum lifts. 2. 3 deep breaths as we practice in the beginning of the class. And 3. Very good. And then I invite you to see how you want to rotate your palms, because we're going up into table. So maybe the fingers are pointing straight back, maybe slightly diagonal to the back. But make sure that you're pushing the floor away and moving from your core, from Uddiyana, as you lift with an inhale, widening the shoulders in front. Exhale. And allow the right knee to drop very gently without pushing too much, so the hips can stay in one line. Really using and working through the glutes of your left leg. Finding the external rotators as well to keep the pelvis in place and level. And I'm just looking to see if everyone's doing correctly. And we're here for 2 and 3. Inhale 1 more time. And then with an exhale, to really keep the shoulders open, pushing the floor away with your hands as you're slowly sinking into the floor, controlling the front side of your shoulders. Allow the left leg to just scoot forward a bit. Inhale, left hand grabs right foot. Exhale, right hand grabs left knee, and we're bringing the legs in one line again. Inhaling here, lifting the arms. Exhale, closing the shoulders in the back and rolling them down so they're connected to the pelvis. It's really like a little bit as if we would activate the rhomboids and drawing the shoulder blades together slightly, 80%, 70% in the back. The sternum can lift 1 more time with an inhale, and with an exhale, just allow the pelvis to tilt first, and then allow this pelvic movement to guide your spine as you roll down, releasing the head. The arms come to your side, the shoulders roll back, so we find this wide collarbones again, and the feet are coming a little bit closer with the heels towards your sit bones. Find this firm ground throughout your shoulders, the backside of your arms. And if you're practicing at home, really Be very aware of your own breath cycle and that you can move in harmony with it. So with your next inhale, lift the pelvis up. Exhale, feeling this navel to spine, the long line from your knees towards your shoulders. Inhale one more time. And with an exhale, slowly allow the spine to articulate while your collarbones stay wide and the shoulders firmly grounded. Be aware if there's any tension that's trying to arise in your pectoral muscles and really work against it with the backside of your shoulder blades, activating the rhomboids. As the pelvis comes to the floor, come into a counter stretch with your tailbone slightly pushing into the floor, and then back to neutral, and with an inhale, rise one more time. The head is completely free, and with an exhale, elongate through your tailbone towards your knees. And then with an exhale, without losing this wideness, this space in your shoulders, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae over the backside of your heart, the lower ends of your ribs, the lumbar spine, the pelvic rim, and then the sacrum and the tailbone. Very good. Maybe there's this counter movement happening with the shoulders still firmly grounded. Inhale here. And with an exhale, find yourself again in Uddiyana, navel to spine. Release one leg with an inhale. With an exhale, let the other leg come to it. And we're here in Apanasana with our fingertips close to our ankles or lower legs. We can, with an inhale, bring the feet up, and with an exhale, with a strong center coming up, and come into Ardha Navasana, long straight back, sternum lifted, lower legs parallel to the floor. Inhale, find this wide space in your shoulders, the heart lifted. And we try to hold this from center without engaging the neck muscles. Head completely free for 3. So we're here. 1, very good. Legs up. 2, super. And then 3, slowly let the feet descend. Drape yourself over your bent legs, opening the backside of the heart. Arms completely released, and we're breathing. Maybe you can still find center with an exhale. 2 more. 1. And feeling the floor. 2. And then come into your own presence, allowing yourself space for perception. From our center, we're rolling up with an inhale. And with an exhale, we set the hands to the back side of your mats, shoulders rolling back. We can move the right foot a little bit to the front, so the left leg can come over in a comfortable manner. And we're going into the hip opener, being aware of our alignment of the right leg straight out of our right hip. And maybe we're scooting forward just to creating a little bit more tension into our left hip on the outside in the glute muscles there. I'm just checking what you're doing. Yeah, you can also activate the ankle by circling it, the left one, and lifting the sternum. Head is completely released. And we're here for 3. Very good. And then get ready. Come back with the position of your hands, so you can make sure that you are in this neutral shoulder space. Find your right foot on the floor, and from the core, from the push into the floor, with an inhale, lift the pelvis. Exhale, finding the front shoulders wide and making sure that your pelvic sides are level. And we're breathing for 3. 1. Very calm breath. 2. And 3. Awesome. Inhale one more time. And with an exhale, slowly descend with the pelvis. The shoulders stay neutral to the best of your abilities. As the pelvis descends very slowly, the elbows can bend. And as soon as you're in a seated position again, help your left knee with your left hand, your left foot with your right hand. Bring the legs parallel again. And we're inhaling again with the arms up. And with an exhale, just hook the shoulders towards your back together and also drawing them to your pelvis. Inhale, the sternum lifts, and with an exhale, we're rolling back down. Fluid breath if you need to and can't come down in one exhale. And we're rolling back down on those two tracks on the left and right side of our spine, coming into a shoulder bridge prep pose. Make sure that your feet have a comfortable distance to your sit bones, because we're focusing on the wide shoulders, and from our center we're straightening the right leg forward, and with an exhale bring the other leg to it. You're lying hip width apart, and I want you to find yourself again in Svadhisthana, or your lower belly, Uddiyana. With an inhale, try to lift up onto your lower arms and elbows. Exhale, pushing the elbows in the floor, drawing them slightly together. See that you can shoulders widen in front, so the sternum can really lift the whole time while the pelvis is firmly grounded. And we're trying to keep this and breathing as we do this in this 3D manner, as we did in the beginning of the class, the front, the sides, and the back side of the body moving as we inhale, expanding, widening. Exhaling, finding the pelvis. We're at 2. Last one. 3. And then inhale one more time. Find this slight push. And with an exhale, slowly release down. Release the elbows. Maybe just the tip of your fingers are on the floor. And we're bringing the head to the floor in another Shavasana. The arms to your side. And if it's not comfortable for your lower back, just bending both legs. So you can really still keep the heart space and keep the shoulders wide. Inhale, your head is really in a neutral position with your nose pointing up. And with an exhale, find that you can keep your awareness on the space in front of your shoulders as your head rolls to your left side. And maybe you can feel the trapezius on the right side to release the upper neck and upper back muscles. And be aware if there's a shoulder that wants to turn to the front, to close off the heart space, and work against it by activating the room between your shoulder blades. And we're trying to find the 3D breath in the front, in the side, and in the back. And are here for 2, 1. Whole body and back is moving as we're breathing. 2, 3. See if your exhale can let your chin descend onto or towards your left shoulder. With an inhale, come back to center. With an exhale, just move your arms for a moment to release the shoulders, to release the neck. We're finding again this neutral position for our head with nose pointing up. We inhale, and with an exhale, without anything else changing, everything else is the same. We are dropping or rolling our head towards our right, observing the left shoulder if it wants to roll forward. And we're trying to the best of our abilities to really keep the left heart space open. See how much you can or need to work in the back to really make this happening. So with an inhale, we can stay focused on the sternum lifting. With an exhale, we can focus on widening the collarbone space. And maybe if there's the capacity, try to feel your feet on the floor as you do this. Whatever you can feel, try to widen your conscious capacity. Last time we inhale, 3D, and exhale. Very good. And then shoulders firmly anchored. We're coming back up with an inhale to center. Exhale, releasing the back of the neck. And then we're bringing from center with an inhale, one bent knee towards our nose. Exhale, releasing the shoulders. With an inhale, lift the sternum. With an exhale, bringing the other leg to the right one without losing the sternum. Really try to keep it lifted. Inhale, both hands to your lower legs on the outside. Exhale, roll the shoulders back, feel them anchored. We're coming into Ardha Navasana half boat as we lift our feet with an inhale, and with an exhale, rolling up, coming up from center into Ardha Navasana. Super. Find both shoulders with are grounded, both arms to the side with an inhale to the back. Exhale, bending the elbows, interlacing your fingers. Feel the shoulders still rolled back, hands can be on the floor, keeping the shoulders wide. With an inhale, lift your arms into Prasarita C arms. And with an exhale, feel that you're drawing your hands slightly to the back so the sternum can lift and the head is released. And we're here for 2. Lower legs to the best of your abilities, parallel with the floor. We're here for 2. 1 and 2. Very good. Both from the core. Just let the legs release. Maybe they're hip width apart. We're still keeping our arms. We're inhaling and lifting the sternum forward and up. And then with an exhale, we're trying to really lift the arms up without sinking in the front. And then we're trying to release the head. So it's a slight forward bend with still the sternum lifted and our arms helping our shoulders. The front rotator cuff stays open as we breathe in 3D in all sides of our torso. 1 and 2. Very good. And then first let your elbows bend with an exhale. Find yourself in the core, in the lower belly. Come with an inhale up. With an exhale, free your arms, and we're going over the sides onto hands and knees. And then pushing back into the first downward dog. And as soon as you arrive here and the body starts to move, allow that as you're moving, you're still feeling the floor. And maybe you can feel your own rhythm of inhalation and exhalation, so that your breath is guiding your fluid movements on the mat. And we're still here for 2 long deep breaths, enjoying for 1 and 2. Very good. And then slowly come to center and finding the connection of the feet, equally pushing into the floor. Anchoring the backside of your arms, your triceps towards your toes. And with an inhale, we're lifting our heels, still staying in center. And with an exhale, we're coming onto the tip of our toes. Find yourself again in the lower body and in the lower belly. And with an exhale, letting the heels descend towards the floor. And maybe you can push your hands forward as you do this. We're trying this 2 more times. So with an inhale, lifting the heels. With an exhale, anchor yourself in Uddiyana and pushing the heels away, the hands imaginatively to the front of the mat. Last time, inhale, lifting the heels. Neck is super, super free. And with an exhale, we're elongating the front side as we stretch the backside of the body. Inhale, and with an exhale, find the connection navel to spine in Uddiyana. And we're trying to move in our own breath rhythm, in harmony with our breath. So with an inhale, come forward, shoulders over hands into plank. As the movement ceases, exhale, and you need more space, just walk back so you really have a lot of space, feeling that you are stable. And then inhale here, and with an exhale, bringing the knees to the floor, keeping the shoulders firmly grounded, lifting the head just a little bit. Inhale here into your heart, and with an exhale, tailbone to the backside of your heels, elbows close to your torso, shoulders roll back, come back to the floor, onto your belly. The shoulders roll back, your elbows draw towards the heels of your feet. And then we're trying to move from Uddiyana, from the center, belly drawn to spine, and not with our neck. So maybe the heart can lead. Try your best. So with an inhale, the core engaged, the hands push, and we lift our heart without using the head. Exhale, allow the elbows to drop, the shoulders to roll back. We inhale one more time, and then with an exhale, allow that the full front side of your body can unfold like a leaf of a fern would roll out. And we're trying to do this 2 more times. So with an inhale, lift into cobra. See if the shoulder space in front can widen, the heart space can widen through the mediastinum. And with an exhale, bending the elbows, everything else follows, so vertebrae by vertebrae, as we very consciously come down to the floor, feeling the connection to the ground. Last time, inhale, come up, unfold onto your hands, heart space, sternum lifted. Exhale, slowly descend vertebrae by vertebrae onto the floor. And as soon as you feel the full front line unfold, find Uddiyana, draw the tailbone towards your heels, push the hands into the floor with a really stable spine. Come up with an inhale onto hands and knees, and with an exhale, come back into downward dog. Yay, back again. See that you can move from center. Try this time probably as you lift the heels to also circle your elbows. So with an inhale as the heel lifts, the elbows circle out. And with an exhale as the heels descend, draw them towards your toes and the arms straighten. So you can find this neutral shoulder spools. With an inhale, the elbows bend to the side. And with an exhale, the back of your arms draw towards your toes and the shoulders become neutral. Try to balance yourself here at center, shifting right to left. And then when you're at center, allow your hands to walk back, still being aware of the contact to the floor and your breath. Maybe the knees have to bend so the spine can stay straight, the sternum lifted. And as you arrive, being very aware of what your shoulders and your navel are doing with your hands in front of your feet, lift one more time with an inhale into Ardha Navasana. And the chest lifts, and with an exhale, bend the knees if you have to, and empty out your pelvic bowl to the front. If you do not see me releasing my head, it's just because of the mic and me wanting you to hear me well. And try to flow here in this fashion, but really also releasing the head as you, with an inhale, you're lifting up halfway, grounding the shoulders, and with an exhale, we're focusing on the sternum lift as we empty the pelvic bowl forward and out. And then maybe the upper body can be like super still, and we're just releasing our arms and bringing them with an inhale to the side, parallelish to the floor. And with an exhale, allow the elbows to bend. Bring both hands to your sacrum, interlace your fingers, probably your shoulders are rolled forward, so roll them back with an exhale. And with an inhale, slowly lift your arms towards the ceiling or the sky, depending on where you're practicing. And with an exhale, ground the shoulders again to the pelvis. And see that your head is not leading the movement, but your hands, or maybe the backside of your heart. Push the feet into the floor, and with an inhale, draw yourself up with a straight, long back, coming to a standing position. And with an exhale, allow the shoulders to roll back and the arms to sink. You can free up your hands and arms and have them for Tadasana at the sides of your hips. And still from center, you can feel that there's a double movement going on. So you're pushing from the navel to below into the floor. And from the navel up, you're trying to lift and elevate the front side. So So try whatever you can feel, how your feet are grounded, the full foot in front, right and left, medial and lateral side, the half moon of your heels. And maybe as you breathe, you can feel this 3D movement of breath that goes from the front to the back and from the left to the right side. And we're standing here for 3 long deep breaths. 1, activating all 5 pranas. 2, try to keep the contact to the floor with closed eyes into awareness or in your awareness. And 3. Awesome. And then slowly from here, open your eyes. See if you can still hold the contact to the floor. And then with an inhale, bring both arms slowly up towards the sky. And with an exhale, listen to my voice. If you can't see my hands, the left hand grabs the right wrist. Inhale here. And with an exhale, push into the floor so you can really elongate the sides of your torso. And then we are slightly leaning to the left. I'm not mirroring you, so you probably go to the other side. And slowly try to rotate the thoracic spine while keeping the pelvis very stable. So you're not twisting through the sacrum, you're not moving through the pelvis. You're just moving through the torso and the thoracic spine. With an inhale, slowly we're turning upright towards the sky, left hip drawing back, and with an exhale, the right side twists or turns towards the left hip. Hip totally quiet and calm and stable. Last time, inhale, twisting, rotating from the thoracic spine, and with an exhale, still be aware of the contact to the floor. Rotate towards the left and then slightly lifting using your right elbow again into a side bending position. Inhale. Exhale, maybe your left hand can draw your right arm longer without losing the shoulder that's grounded to your hip. Come back up with an inhale. And with an exhale, slowly removing your left hand from your right, letting the arms descend. And circle the shoulders. And find that the shoulders can really move from the front to the back. This activates our lung meridian. And you can feel this locking in position of the shoulder blades as we roll back. It's like a setting into neutral. And we're doing this for 3 breaths, and we're at 3 now. Very good. And then let the movement descend and find yourself with this wide collarbones, this neutral shoulder girdle, the shoulders firmly grounded, the feet firmly grounded, and the shoulders firmly grounded. Let the arms ascend with an inhale. Exhale, pushing from center into the floor, grabbing with the right hand our left wrist. We inhale here, pulling ourselves away from the floor, both directions, working both directions, down from the navel, up from the navel. And with an exhale, we're descending onto our right side. And we're then starting again to activating the sides of our torso. So we're turning upwards with an inhale without moving the pelvis, and with an exhale we're turning towards the floor with our left side without moving the pelvis. We're doing this 2 more times. Inhale, the right sideline turns up towards the sky without the pelvis twisting or turning, and with the exhale come into facing the earth. Last time, firmly grounded. Inhale, turning up, right hip working against this movement, and with an exhale, feel that the right hand slightly pushes forward as you turn towards the earth. Find that your feet can push into your floor and return into neutral by lifting your left side of the body. Inhale here. And with an exhale, feel that you're pushing the feet into the floor, lifting the sternum as you slowly come with an inhale back up to standing. And with an exhale, release the hands and allow the arms to descend as if they would be on clouds, and you're still having this slight lift from the underside of your arms and shoulders as you're standing in Tadasana, so we can finding this width and this length in Tadasana for our shoulders, our whole spine, our neck. Very good. And then slowly from here, release your arms from the sides. Bring them with an inhale back, extending the shoulders. Exhale, interlace the shoulders again. See if your connection to the floor has changed and try to balance your feet so you're standing equally on your left and your right foot. And then with an inhale, we're turning our inside of the legs towards the backside of the room. It's called butt flower by Sadie Nadina, and we inhale, lifting the sternum as we keep this internal rotation of the upper thighs. And with an exhale, without losing the arms, without losing the core connection, without losing the floor connection, go into a standing back bend with Prasarita C arms. And we're breathing here for 3. Very good. 1. Feel if you can equally draw the arms back so the shoulder girdle is balanced. Super. 3. And then gather yourself in the lower belly, pushing the feet into the ground equally, and then come with an inhale from center back up, and with an exhale, bending the elbows, releasing the hands, returning to the Dasana. And we're coming back to the front side of our mat. Inhale, lifting both arms. And with an exhale, we can bend the knees and slowly descend. Hands to floor, fingertips on the floor. If this is too much space that you can, there's tension that you can put your hands on your lower legs. The shoulders should always be rolled back so you find this neutral shoulder girdle, and we're trying to lift up into this active awakened position. And from the core, with an inhale, lift the right leg to the back. Exhale, try to find, if you need, the fingertips on the floor. The left hip likes to roll forward, so I want you to push it back and to lift your right inner thigh towards the sky for this parallel hips. And with an exhale, find your center, pushing your spine into a long line by pulling the right heel back. And then maybe you're staying here, releasing the head, finding the shoulders firmly grounded. And we're here for 2. And then inhale one more time, and then with an exhale, slowly step back with your right foot. So your left foot is at 12 o'clock, parallel to the outside of the mat. And the back leg is with your toes pointing towards 2 on an imaginary clock. Find the left hip again, turning to the back, so your sit bones are drawn together, and then slowly pulling the feet apart. Roll back up to standing. Inhale here, exhale, finding the shoulders again released. And see that you can really pull the feet on the mat away from each other without moving them. Find center, inhale, and then with an exhale, slowly descend with a straight spine, parallel to the floor. The sternum is lifting, the neck releases, and we're moving here in a rhythmic vinyasa as we're coming up with an inhale, straight spine, and with an exhale, shoulders firmly grounded, elbows drawing together at the back or on the back. We're lifting the sternum with an inhale, and with an exhale from center, slowly descend forward. Find this stable space in your lower belly, in Uddiyana, as you descend forward, straight spine. From here, inhale, come back up. And with an exhale, slowly finding the shoulders drawn to the back, lifting the sternum. Inhale here. And with an exhale, come into a tiny back bend. Last time, inhale here, we're coming back up to neutral. And with an exhale, we're going into this forward bend. Our pelvis leading the movement, our feet pushing away from each other. And we're breathing in here. And with an exhale, we can free up the arms, bring them back to the floor or to your lower leg. We're inhaling one more time, shoulders firmly grounded. Feel this creative tension. And with an exhale, still feel the feet pushing away from each other, and maybe the pelvic bowl can empty out more. See if you can feel both feet equally grounded into the floor, staying at center. And we can go into this movement for our spine where we round with an inhale and come down with an exhale. So our torso can really drop out of our pelvis and elongate as we come down over our left leg. Last time, inhale, drawing to center. Exhale, extending the spine, both sides of the spine equally as we flow over our left leg. And then gather yourself in the lower belly. Inhale, bending the left knee for a moment, grounding the shoulders, hands may walk forward. Find yourself ready for movement. We're returning with an inhale to Vira 3. Exhale, see if your toes of your right leg can really pull to the floor, and then bend with an exhale your left leg and step back with your right. Hands may walk to the back in one line with your shoulders. We're extending one more time with an inhale, and with an exhale we are setting the right knee down. And make sure that you're feeling okay in your right knee. So you're actually kneeling in front of the patella. Maybe you need to pat yourself. But if you're okay, bring with an inhale both arms up. Exhale, interlace your fingers and bring them to the backside of your head. Wide your elbows to the back and really root yourself into the floor and into Uddiyana. And if you have created this huge space between your front of your thigh and your lower belly, go into your back bend by extending equally the front side of your torso, keeping the neck long in this long C curve. Very good. And we're breathing 3 deep breaths if possible. For 3 breaths, and we're at 1, 2, and last time, 3. And then slowly come back up with an inhale. And then with an exhale, slowly finding yourself at center, allowing the shoulders to release. Bring both arms up, inhale here. And with an exhale, allow the arms to come back to the floor. Shoulders very well drawn to the pelvis. We're shifting a little bit to the back so we can free up the left neck and step together with our left knee to our right and come into Balasana or Child's Pose. Melt towards the floor, and we can keep this spinal movement, this spinal position going as we're arriving on the floor for 1. Try to feel also that you can gather something from the floor, like strength or peace or calm. 2. You can also give something to the earth or to the floor. 3. Tension or something good, your choice. And then slowly find yourself in the lower belly. From center, roll back up with an inhale. Head is relaxed. And with an exhale, flex your feet and slowly with an active center, pushing the hands to the front. See if you can deepen the lower belly, deepen the groins as you push back into the downward dog. And see if you can find this contact to the floor. Find this contact to your breath, and we're moving for 1. 2, strong center. And 3. Fluid breath, maybe that long that you really can find all sides of your torso expanding. And then return back to center, slowly move forward with an inhale. Exhale, maybe step back so you find that length, and we're going into Chaturanga. So I really want you to have enough space. Inhale here, and with an exhale, slowly drawing the knees to the floor. We're just shifting a little bit forward with an inhale, tailbone towards the backside of our knees, and then with our exhale, we dive down, keeping the spine very, very straight, the neck released, and then releasing fully onto the floor. Both hands can, with fingertips pointing forward, come directly onto your shoulders or underneath your shoulders, and we're rolling the shoulders from the front to the back, and we're seeing or being aware of this locking in of our shoulders as they roll back. And this motion, once performed on the right side and then on the left, can slowly draw us up. So we can feel that we're releasing the mid back and releasing the upper back. And maybe the head follows with it in a very sensual manner. So it's really feeling fine and freeing. And just try to go up to the level that really suits you. Don't push over that level so you're feeling it in the lower back. It should really feel really nice release for your shoulders and your mid back and upper back. So let's try this one more time. So we're starting with the left one, rolling it back and pushing the left hand into the floor at the same time. And we're inhaling and rolling back the right shoulder with an exhale and pushing the right hand into the floor. So you probably get my drift as we're moving from side to side, freeing up the thoracic spine and letting us being carried higher in a manner that we can self-massage us here, and then arrive at center in the lower belly at a full extension with an inhale, and then with an exhale descend and come back to the floor. And then with an inhale, brush the hands back, and then with an exhale, draw the hands to the front with the backside of your hands to the front and down till you reach the center or middle height of your torso. Let the shoulders roll back, and just with a slight pressure, push your hands into the floor. You can stay completely still or move your head. I'm just moving my head that you hear me better. And we're breathing here for 1, 2, and then slowly come to center again. First, let your navel draw to spine with an exhale, and then rolling the shoulders back, come into Shalabhasana, and maybe just slightly lift the head, and then with an exhale, freeing up the arms, returning your hands with fingertips underneath your shoulders. Find yourself into the lower belly with a straight spine. Rise back up with an inhale, and with an exhale from hands and knees, push back into downward dog. Shift, release the head, bend the knees, or shift from side to side, activating your sidelines. And we're still here for 2, 1, and 2. Very good. And then come back here, back to center. Allow the pelvis to titrate or pendulate until it comes to center. Push yourself back one more time, integrate the ribs, release the head. And then we're slowly in harmony with our breath. So really feel the inhale and exhale, feel the floor, releasing the head, and the shoulders are being anchored to your pelvis until you can reach the hands. Or if it doesn't go any further, let the hands walk back, either tip of your fingertips or palms on the floor or on your lower legs. Allow the shoulders to ground towards your pelvis. Inhale, lift yourself up into this attentive pose. Exhale, dive deeper by emptying out the pelvic bowl, making sure you're staying equally grounded on your feet. Inhale, maybe the slight C-curve, this activation through center, and then the extension as you descend with an exhale and a straightish spine. Sternum lifted. Last time, inhale round. Exhale, descend. And then, very good. Gather your attention in the lower belly, Uddiyana Bandha. From your core, with an inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale. Find yourself again with fingertips firmly grounded. Allow that your whole body weight is equally distributed, and then lift from the center with an inhale your left leg up. Maybe your left inner thigh can draw up towards the ceiling as you lift the leg. And then with an exhale, find again the shoulders grounded, the lower belly. Allow the right side of your torso to be long so the quadratus lumborum is not engaged. And we're trying to hold this with toes rolled to the floor for 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. And then inhale one more time, bending the right leg. And with an exhale, slowly step back with the left leg behind your right leg, 3 to 4 feet length. For the front foot is 12 o'clock. The back foot is with toes pointing towards 10 o'clock on an imaginary clock. And we're rolling up. The feet are drawing apart as we do this. And then we're exhaling, both hands on our waist. And I'm just putting my hand back because of the mic. So feel that you can really ground the shoulders. Feel that you can have the hips square. Inhale here one more time. And with an exhale, start this rhythmic vinyasa as we're going into a forward bend. Maybe your right knee is bent. Just feel whatever suits you. And the most important point is that the shoulders are rolled back and grounded, and that the spine is really long. Inhale from the contact to the floor and your core. Come back up to standing. Exhale, anchor here, and then lift the sternum with an inhale. And with an exhale, slowly from Uddiyana Bandha, navel to spine, come slightly forward again. Flow in harmony with your breath. As long as your breath goes, the movement goes. Go. And then with an inhale, come back up to standing. Exhale, anchor the shoulders. Find yourself in Uddiyana. Inhale, lifting the sternum. And with an exhale, go forward one more time, emptying the pelvic bowl so it can guide your spine, stabilizing the hips, drawing the feet apart. And then find yourself in Uddiyana. Last time, from the push into the floor and the stable core, come up with an inhale. Exhale, shoulders anchor, strong center. Inhale, lift the sternum. And with an exhale, dive forward. A lot of space in your right hip, so your right hip is drawn back. You're engaging the lower right belly as well. Until we are parallel to the floor, and then freeing up your arms. Inhale here, exhale, setting the hands towards the floor, fingertips or palms. Widen the shoulder space in front, broad collarbones. Inhale here, exhale, come over your right leg. And see that you can still feel your left foot equally grounded into the floor, so that our weight is really balanced. Our shoulders are still drawn to the hips, and we're breathing as we slightly wave for 1, 2. Stay with the focus on connection to the floor, our breath, and how we move. 3, and this will aid our capacity to feel this when we are challenged in another situation. Slowly shift forward with an inhale. Exhale from the core, left the left leg. Hands are moving forward. Keep the shoulders anchored. Inhale here, lifting and extending throughout the left leg. And with an exhale, bending the right knee. Step back with the left leg. Hands can walk back. And slowly, kneeling in front of our patella, we are rising up with an inhale into the low lunge. Both hips are pointing forward, and we exhale, anchoring into our tailbone to the back of our left knee. And with an inhale, we're lifting both arms. With an exhale, we can try the variation to grab our elbows for a deeper shoulder opening and chest opening. Make sure you're okay, otherwise stay with fingers interlaced, hands overhead. And then try to find this little trick as you draw your right heel towards your left knee to put the pelvis in a neutral position. And then with an exhale, come back into a back bend here. Keeping the sternum lifted, the right knee draws forward, and we're here for 3 long deep breaths. 1. Super. 2. 3. Super. And then find yourself again in Uddiyana Bandha in the left lower belly and rise up with an inhale. Exhale. Freeing up the arms, extending them maybe to the sky with an inhale. And with an exhale, allowing the arms to descend. Slightly shift towards your left, step with the right leg to the left and arrive into child's position. Just releasing everything onto the floor, into the floor. The security of always being able to arrive here. And still mobilize the spine and be alive as we breathe and feel the floor. So that we can focus on this stable connection to the floor and life, moving in and out of our being for 1, 2, and 3. And then feel that you're arriving at center, that the head is really, really released. And slowly from your center, come with an inhale up onto hands and knees. Exhale, allow the hands to walk back. That you can always shift your position until you're happy and feel fine. Again, focus also on the contact of your feet on the floor, that probably you can feel all 5 toes on both feet. And then shift back and roll slowly up with an inhale, drawing your hands towards your knees. See if you can find this wide external rotators, if the pinky toe can stay on the floor as you do this. And then bring your tailbone to the backside of your knees, lifting the arms up in front with an inhale. And with an exhale, just pushing something away or going through a gate or removing the window dressing, whatever feels correct for you, as your hands anchor on your sacrum. This is really a sacred place of ours. And then we can lift the heart one more time with an inhale. And with an exhale, we can widen the front of our collarbones and shoulders as the elbows draw together. And we're going into an offering in Ustrasana in this variation here. And we're here for 3 long deep breaths. 1, 2. And you can really bring your prayer into this. Both legs equally pushed into the floor, anchored into Uddiyana or the lower belly. And then slowly rise back up with an inhale. And then with an exhale, remove your hands from your sacrum. See that this prayer maybe has arrived deep within your body. Inhale here. And with an exhale, shift back, deepen in the groins, keeping Uddiyana as your tush comes towards your heels. And then maybe your hands in Anjali Mudra can come with the index towards your forehead. The shoulders can roll back just to massage ourselves here a little bit. And maybe we can stay with this motion and our breath while feeling the floor And maybe even feeling our hands on our forehead. So we're in contact with our own vision. And then maybe feeling that this clarity of having this increased capacity to perceive can aid our vision, still allowing it freedom, especially now where everything is in flux, that there's freedom for it, how it wants to manifest, how our vision wants to manifest. And if you can stay seated like this, maybe you can even draw the tailbone further towards your heels. The pelvis can be like a big bowl to gather this energy. And our hands can very gently come onto our heart. And we can ground our shoulders. And find a super, super, super slow breath. And a sinking towards our heels or towards the floor. And also find this expansion throughout the torso, to the front, to the side, to the back. So all organs of ours in this yearly round get their good share of prana. And we can be free from the inside out. Also so that we can stay connected to the body and not ruminate in our minds. So our body can be okay as being our home. 1, 2, and then slowly release your hands, bring them back onto the floor. And after practicing, we can really put a message into our palms, into our hands as we touch the earth. And we can mobilize the shoulders one more time. We can come to a seated position with crossed legs or over the sides. Feel whatever's right for your knees. So we arrive here into a sitting position. And maybe allow yourself from the inside out, so your seated position can correct itself from the inside out. Feel that you can release your hands on your knees, that your pelvis can sink. Legs can be whatever way suits you so that you feel comfortable. And see if you can feel your Shavasana today in a different direction or in different alignment, so that we're aligned with our soul level, being upright. I invite you to find this neutral position, to lift yourself up and out of your pelvis, maybe with a slight push from your hands with an inhale, and then with an exhale, this tension in the shoulders and arms may go, and you can shift your awareness towards a balanced pelvic grounding. So we have both qualities of our female and male sides, of something that we can use to bring stuff out and also to be receptive. And this means to being receptive to our intuition, to our feelings, and that both can be in contact with this huger frame, this deeper ground that carries us. The quality is very female, loving, kind. And see if you can sense this for a couple of moments. Conclude and complete your class, your mandala. And I hope that you feel centered and grounded. And we stay here for 3 long deep breaths. 1, 2, very good, last one, and 3. Awesome. And then slowly open your eyes remember, no matter where you're working in, which area you're working in, or which area you're working on, that we can always have this sun and moon side of ours in balance, and that we are flexible in sensing also what we need right now. So I invite you to wherever you are right now to speak your mind, to stay connected to your intuition, and to stay in connection with yourself and your ground and the other people and beings in your life. And stay open to communication. I hope I gave you some tools that you can always use, and I wish you a very beautiful evening and a very nice week. Thank you so much for being here. Everything love. Namaste.